Hey guys, this is Taylor with Team Decree. We are at Locals on a Tuesday in Chattanooga, and we have Gavin Reiniche, who on day one of YCS 200th in Columbus got third place after Swiss on day one. Had some unfortunate events on day two, but we'll talk about those near the end. But we're going to give you your deck profile and see the spice. Any goo you want to talk about before we do it?
I played 55 cards.
But why?
Basically, I thought 40 was incorrect because you have a better chance to draw into Ibley and Malicious. And also playing 55, basically you have more ways to more engine cards, and also you play more starter cards that are just fine to draw, basically. Okay. And then I didn't play 60 because the other 5 cards that I would have played just ruin the consistency of the deck. I could have played the Sky Striker cards, but I just didn't think they were good enough, basically.
Okay, well, let's get the deck profile going.
All right, so to start off for the monsters, we have 3 Suprex, best Gouki card, that's obvious. 2 Twist Cobra. I debated on playing 3 just to have more names, but 2 was good enough. Basically, if you open a Gouki and an extender, basically your plays can go almost uninterrupted as long as you play around Ghost Ogre and things like that. So, then we had the 2 Headbat. 2 is definitely correct because of reincarnation. Basically, if you draw one, you need to have another one in deck. It's just a way to play through getting ashed and things like that. So, it's really good. And then 2 Octastretch. I debated on 3, but 2's fine because you really won't draw it as often in a 55 card deck as you would a 40 card deck. And basically, I actually summoned this 3 times in one game because someone shuffled one back. So I resolved this oldie 3 times in the same game. So that was pretty neat. Then just for the 1 of Goukis, just 1 Scorpio, 1 Bear Hug. Just basically the combo extenders, just more cards to add to hand. For Scorpio's good because you can normal summon it and activate an extender and just continue your plays that way. So a Bear Hug's just neat to deal damage sometimes. Then of course the 1 Ibley because we play Nightmare cards. If you don't play Nightmare cards, you're playing the deck wrong. Then the best card in the deck, or at least one of the best cards, was the Malicious. Malicious helps you play through every hand trap pretty much. If you get this card to grave and resolve it, you basically are probably going to win the game. There's nothing else you can really say about that. Then I played 5 cards to send the Malicious. I played the 3 Armageddon and the 2 Vion. These cards are really good. I chose 3 Armageddon over 3 Vion just because he's 1,400 and he's 1,000. I didn't play Stratos. That was one of the cards that was in the 60 card build that I cut. Basically, a Hero Lives does do the full combo, but if you draw Stratos, you're kind of boned. So basically, I just wanted to make my deck as consistent as possible, being 55 cards. Other extenders, I played 2 Marauding Captain. What was cool was a lot of people would impermanence this going second, and then I would just activate an extender and just blow through them with the Gunblower and give them 1 card in hand on their turn, so they basically just couldn't play the game. So that was pretty good. And the best card in my deck, 3 Super Quantum Red Lair.
Okay, so what does Red Lair let you do?
Red Lair is the transform junk forward. Basically, he says I can attack into Inspector Border going second. I can tribute Ibley just to continue my plays because getting rid of Ibley is good, and I don't have to waste the attack with Ibley. And also, Trickstars cannot beat over this card very easily. So basically, it's just better than junk forward in every way, other than the fact that you can't search it off Rhoda, which is fine.
Is there any specific thing that it just lets you do?
Well, I mean, it's just a free special summon. It's just another it's junk forward. Against Jeff, this basically just helped me win the game. So basically, I was able to summon it, attack over Hayate, and basically won that game in time. And basically, that was my 1 draw in Swiss was to Jeff. So this card actually helped me in that game specifically.
Sweet.
Yep. Then just hand traps. I played 3 Ogre and 3 Ash. Most Gouki players do not play hand traps in their main deck, but I believe that is wrong, especially going into an event of a new format. Basically, you don't know what you're going to play against 100%. I mean, you know that Gouki was still a good deck going into the format, which is why these hand traps are still good. This card is decent against Sky Striker's not great, but this card is actually really good against multi-roll because if they try to do stuff in the end phase and you just hit the multi-roll, they just lose advantage on cards. So it's really good. And then hitting Summon Sorceress with this is broken. they're both decent hand traps in their own right, and basically you want to draw hand traps that way you make sure you don't lose going second in the mirror match. So that's why I played the hand traps. Onto the spells. I played 2 Gouki rematch. Basically,
brokenest reborn ever.
yeah, this card's just generically really good. Basically, if someone ever belled it, which happened twice, I just added the other one from deck and just continued to play the game. Made them waste a hand trap because they didn't wait to hit the Firewall Dragon. 3 Midbreaker Field. This card was still really good because half the time whenever I activated it, my opponent told me they had Ghost Ogre, and they just lost because they couldn't hit my combo. So this card was still really good because everyone was still playing Ghost Ogre in their main deck. Then I main deck 3 Twin Twisters. Going to this event, I knew that Altergeist and Sky Strikers were both going to be probably the 2 most represented decks, which was very accurate. I blew out a Sky Striker player with this during their end phase and just killed them next turn. Against an Altergeist player, I hit 2 back row, and it was the right 2. It was Protocol and Spoofing, and then they just lost the game from there. And then I actually played against a Mech Knight Invoke player that set 2 invocations just to summon his Mech Knights, and I Twin Twister both of them, and he just scooped. So this card was very good and performed very well this weekend. Then for another extender, I played the 3 Instant Fusion. Raijin is a very good card still. So basically, it's just another way to just continue your combo if you open multiple extenders.
So if you open that and red layer, you're just going in.
Yeah, basically that and red layer is just broken. Because I could also make a rank 5 if I played it, which I didn't. But it still would have been cool. Then I played the 3 equip spells. These 2 are standard. This one was actually really good this weekend. There was a situation with Raijin, actually, where my opponent, I was playing against an Infernoid deck. I Deviati'd him, or he Deviati'd me because I tried to book his Deviati. He negated it and banished my Raijin. Then I activated this and pitched Mally and just continued to do the full combo because I pitched Mally and just went off on him.
When just shenanigans happen.
Yeah, it's just... Malicious is so good. Like, this card helped me unbrick Malicious because people would either banish my hand traps with Called by the Grave, or they would, like that situation, banish Raijin.
Is that in Summon Sorceress your only way to get Malicious out of your hand?
That and like Phoenix or Mermaid, things like that, just in the middle of the combo. So that's why I like Malicious is really good because you can still discard it if you draw one of them. So
fair enough.
Yep. Then 2 Called by the Grave. This card's broken. I opened this plus Midbreaker Field a few times, and they had Ash was their only hand trap. So basically, this just won me the game. Then Broken One-ofs, Rhoda, because you're playing a warrior deck. Monster Reborn, Monster Reborn. World Legacy Succession. This card,
Reborn.
Yeah, it's another Monster Reborn and just helped me play through like a bunch of hand traps. 1 for 1. Basically, you pitch Malicious, summon Octostretch, and win. And then Soul Charge should be banned. And then for the trap cards, I just played 3 Shade Brigandine. Just more extenders that just continue to advance your game state and also just help you play through cards because you...
How many turbo cards are you playing?
A lot. It's a good bit. Like, I mean, this Instant Fusion, Red Layer, 1 for 1.
At least a third of your deck is turbo.
Yep. So basically, like, this deck, like, doesn't brick. It does sometimes, like, my last round of Swiss, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So that's the main deck. Like I said, 55 cards, better than 40. Better than 60. So, on to the extra deck. 2 Isolde.
But we know what that does.
Yep. Just your win con. Let's say Summon Sorceress. Another broken card that probably should have never been printed. Nightmare cards. 1 Mermaid, 1 Cerberus, 2 Phoenix. I felt like this was the correct one to play 2 of just because playing around back row is very good. Going second. So, that was probably the best one in my opinion. And then 1 Unicorn. No Griffin. There was no point to set rematch at the end of your turn because you probably have a second one anyway just from adding cards to your hand. So, and I didn't play Imperial Order, so there was just no point. On to the other cards. Proxy Dragon. I just really like this card better than Binary Sorceress going into the event. Basically, it just helps me from destruction by battle if I don't have Phoenix going first. So it just protects my better cards that I needed to keep. So that's why I chose this one over Binary Sorceress. Link Karibo, it's part of your combos, and just linking into Octostretch is good. Gumblar, this card is just ridiculous.
That is the cheapest, brokenest card I've ever seen in my life.
This card is just stupid. Like, ending your combo, like, you can just U-Link them and not even do anything, then activate rematch, and then just make them discard 4 cards anyway for no reason. With you only discarding 2, which is great. Firewall, dodge the list, so we still play it. Trigate Wizard, this card just negates everything. Underclock Taker, this card was really good. I liked it more than Reproducus because, like, I didn't think a lot of people would play cherries at the event, which I was actually right about. And just this card introduces so many OTKs, so it was really good. And then finally, just Invoked Raijin, just to put on the instant fusion, and I resolved his effect a bunch of times, like against Lycoris, against Deviati, things like that.
Did anybody super poly that when they were playing Invoke?
No, the one super poly got hit out of a dude's hand during my turn. So,
What was he playing?
Heroes.
Sweet.
Yep. Side deck, 3 draw, good against the mirror, good against heroes, anything like that. So it's just a good card to keep in. It's good against Sky Strikers too, going second. So 2 shared ride.
How did those perform?
They were really good. This won me a couple matches because like the Sky Striker players I played against let me get 2 cards, which was what I needed just to kill them next turn that they couldn't play through. So that was good. And then it was just really good against the mirror match when I went first, so it wasn't bad. 3 Hey Trunade. I sided this for Altergeist and Sky Striker because this card just wins you the game going second. Like, yeah, they can flip up stuff, but then you have cards that just like out like rivalries, things like that. It just was really good. I didn't actually see it, but it came up a lot in testing when I played against those decks, so it was really good. 3 red reboot. I never saw this card because I only played against 1 Altergeist in the tournament, and I didn't play against any Draco, so this card just didn't come up really, but I would still play it. 3 Impermanence. This card I sided in going second against like Gouki, and that was pretty much it. Just another way to make sure I don't lose the mirror match, and also it's a card that can't get hit by Call by the Grave, so it's really good. And then finally, the last card on my side was Boral Sword Dragon. Basically, what I did with this is every time I went second, I just sided it in and sided out Gumblar because there's no way I'm hand looping you going second because you don't have any cards in your hand, basically, or you just play around it. So I just sided it in just to kill you, basically. It was just a card that said I OTK you and win the game.
So what was your hardest matchup?
My hardest matchup, it seemed to be Pure. I did really well against it the first time, and then I drew with it when I played against Jeff, and then ended up losing to 2 of them day 2. So that seemed to be it. Like, Altergeist was pretty easy. The Mech Knight deck was pretty easy to play against. The Trickstar deck, I just wrecked him. And that was pretty much it. Like, the Gouki mirror match was really good. The only reason I lost to one of them was because I lost the die roll. He Gumblar'd me game 1. I Gumblar'd him game 2, and then game 3 I opened Ibly Double Mally. So I just couldn't play the game at that point. So that's why I lost round 12 and didn't make it.
So any shout-outs?
Shout-outs to, of course, Team Decree. Just coolest guys I've ever met. Taylor, Jacob, Alex. Just glad to have someone to play test with, things like that. Shout-out to my sponsor, Play to Win Games. Any card I need, he'll just get it for me, and I can use it for the event, or eventually I'll just pick it up myself. But anything I need, he's got me. Told me about Red Lair the day before. Go Red Lair. Shout out to Aaron Levy, one of my biggest testing buddies other than Taylor and all them, so he helped me through a lot. Shout out to Chandler Morrow. Basically, him and I built the deck. He built the deck a few formats ago when Gouki was good, and when Swordsman and Sorceress was actually released, and basically we've just been trying to tech it out. Everybody from locals who helps me test. So.
Gavin, do you have anything to tell everybody when they go to an event? What do they need to do what you did?
Play Red Lair and eat that horse.
All right, guys. This is Team Decree. Remember, eat that horse and you'll get there.